Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer Talk of the Crown, and this is episode 22. And as you can tell, I am wearing my Royal Stuart beret, which I opened from Betsy last week. So here we go, in almost my full Royal Stuart Scottish outfit. I have the Royal Stuart bow tie, I have the Royal Stuart tartan hat with these lovely little tassels on. We have the Scottish flag in the background, and we have the Royal Standard because, of course, the Queen is still on holiday in Balmoral. So why not go all out and go Scottish? We also have the Scottish Piper Bear, which was also a gift as well. So there we have Scottish Piper Bear. So I think, could I get any more Scottish? I don't know. I've even got my slightly tartan trousers on. My goodness. So welcome. And if this is the first time that you have joined me for one of my Talk of the Crown episodes, the format is really, really simple. Just say hello in the chat room or ask a question. That's fine. This is directed by you guys. So anything that you want to talk about, that is fine with me. Of course, we are in the summer holidays. The Queen is at Balmoral, so things have been a little bit quiet. So I don't mind whatever you want to talk about. That's fine. Oh, by the way, I also have my Scottish plume feather in my hat and a Scottish plume feather brooch here, and Queen Victoria's double bow brooch as well. So yes, we are very royal today. Now I'm going to go and find the chat room, and of course we are a Saturday, 10 o'clock GMT live, and I've just found the chat now. I always like to put it on live chat rather than top chat so that I can see exactly who is here. So let's do some hellos. Darkstorm Empire is in here, and Kelly Vernon, and Sweet Serenity, and Soliada 222, and Barbara Lane, and Scott Garth, and Maya, and Melody, and Sweet Serenity, and Ruth, and Vicky P, Go Getter, Jeff, Paulette, Ken, Kelly, Dion, Rodney's here, Mrs. Piacencio 9, Caroline, D Ray. And if I'm missing anybody, by the way, I'm just trying to go through all of these. Glassery, Connie, ST, Dorothy Gibbs, Kelly Black. I think I've said Diamond Danae. Arnold Sanders, Ray is here. Ray as in RAE. French Studios, Cynthia Lewis, D Sweet, Kathy G, Gerald is here, and Jay Leon, James Med 4. Betsy's here as well. Thank you again, Betsy, for the hat. Very well. Ned, Texon, Karen, Judy, you're all here today. David Penner, Jeff, Dee, Janine, Jojo. I've probably said some of these names more than once. Gabrielle, Janus in Janus Shops, I think that is. Susan G, SS Dawn, Refaith, Vinnie Blair, Laurie Clark, Christine Suckup. I've got there. Welcome to this chat. Now, if I've missed any important questions, I'm just going to go up and see if I have. DD says, hi, Elliot. Just saw that you did a special opening video earlier today of the Meghan tiara. Oh, you got it, me. I wondered. There we go. Thank you so much, DD. I didn't know if you went by another name on the internet, so I couldn't quite think who it was, who Danette was, but it's DD. Thank you so much to DD. It's amazing. I'm going to read the rest of your comment. Didn't have a chance to watch the video yet, but so awesome. Hope you like it. I did. It was amazing. And please go and watch the video because it was one of my favorite videos that I've made. Thank you so much. I mean, I think that tiara has brought delight to a lot of people. And I think also I've probably sold a few. I'm not on any commission. It wasn't sponsored. It was just a lovely gift from you, DD. And I wanted to share my experience of receiving that with everybody. So thank you so much. But by the way, I've got to try and remember not to rock backwards and forwards because somebody felt seasick last week. And because I'm in a different room, I'm on my sofa, it's slightly more informal. I may tend to rock. So if you are feeling seasick, just tell me to stop rocking because I probably don't realize I'm doing it. No, Jeff, no need to restart. I am here. D Sweet says you look so dapper in all my Scottish garb. Thank you. Did I watch the World Cup? No, not really. Oh, I watched a few England games, but I didn't really follow it, I don't suppose. My Right, I don't think I've missed any really important comments, so I will go right back down. Oh, by the way, Ken says, I am actually on time for a change. Making the live chat has been a challenge lately. Paulette says, my new tiara is beautiful. What a wonderful gift it was indeed. Darkstorm Empire says, opening Meghan Markle Duchess of Sussex wedding tiara. Elliot's video on his Facebook page is some of my tiaras. Yes, I did see your video of opening your tiara, Darkstorms, and I'm so glad that you got one that you actually like this time. And I think maybe you should get the Meghan one too, because if you like tiaras and you want to add a really good one to your collection, I think that would be another good one to get. Barbara Lane says, good afternoon to you. First time logging in. You watch me all the time, coming to you from America, the state of Texas. I watch somebody on YouTube from Texas. Darkstorm Empire says, I saw two of them on Amazon. One is $99, the other is $49. There is one cheap one and there is one dear one. My one was the dearer one. I did look at the cheaper one. In fact, the cheaper one wasn't there when I put it on the wish list, but I looked at the cheaper one, and the cheaper one doesn't look quite as good. It doesn't look as accurate. So I would say if you want the same, if you want exactly the same as what I got, it's the dear one from the bridal shop. So make sure you get that one and not the cheap one, because I can't guarantee the cheap one will be the same. I've looked at it and I don't think it is. Okay, I'm going to skip right back down to the bottom. Keep going. Okay, hang on. Okay, are people saying give me a big thumbs up? Yes, please do. Please give me a really big thumbs up. Candice Bunting girl, hello, says, you look amazingly wonderful. You'll have to learn a reel now. Scottish reel, yes. Scottish dancing, wow. Lots of people thanking Dee Dee for, of course, gifting me that amazing tiara. Keontae Kent says hello. Hello to you, Keontae. Pamela says, Dee Dee, the tiara is stupendous. I think it is indeed. Candice says 154 watching already. Well, if there's 154 of you, please give me a big old thumbs up if you can. Pam G says, oh, awesome tiara. Laurie Clark says, I am in love with that tiara replica. And David Penner says, did anyone watch the ABC News programme? Well, I didn't, because I'm not in America, called The Royals Today Special on Wednesday, Thursday. Good programme. Learned a lot about the Queen and Prince Philip. Did I see it? Unless it went by another name in the UK, I'm not sure I have, so I'll have to research that one. Mrs. VSNCO9 says, oh my God, that tiara and that purple satin bag are beautiful. The bag was lovely. Purple is my favourite colour. In fact, it was the bag when I sort of did my pre-open ages ago that made me think, oh, this is something special. So I did take a peek, and that's why I held this back for a special opening, because I just knew it was going to be something really, really good. Vinny Blair says, Dee Dee, you did great, girl. Well done. It's a beautiful tiara. It is indeed. And like I say, I think people are buying them all over the place now. Helen RT says, hello from Oslo, Norway. Looking good as always. Finally have time to watch live. Very curious about what you think about the Norwegian royal family. Well, of course, my main following is a British royal family, but I think any European royalty or royalty worldwide is obviously worth following and worth watching, because you know that there isn't that many countries, if you count all the countries in the world, that do still have a monarchy. So of course a country that does, in my opinion, is very, very special, and I think it's something to be cherished and held on to. And of course the Norwegian royals are also really, really interesting, but I just don't have the time. I'm so busy with the British royals and everything that's going on that, you know, I don't really have time to follow them as in depth as I do, but it's always nice to hear a really good story about the Norwegian royals. Vianua, I think that's how you say it, says, hey Elliot, you look dapper and you look handsome in Duchess Meghan Tartan. Love your show. Lots of love from America. Thank you so, so much. I'm really glad you enjoy. Dee Dee says, you're absolutely welcome. Thinking about getting one for myself. And thanks, Betsy. You should, because it really is stunning. So stunningly beautiful. Gerald says, watched a 2-night program about the royals. I thought it was not very good on US TV. Oh, I can't picture the one that you mean. If I may have seen one, if it went by another name. I know sometimes things get retitled when they're shown in the US, or it could be very, very old. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to try and research it and find out. Pamela says, did Harry and Meghan get a dog? Not that I've heard of. I mean, again, they've been off the radar for a number of weeks now, so I'm not. I cannot confirm nor deny a dog. Oh, that reminds me, I've left my fake news fan flaps. In fact, all my fan flaps over there. So I am just going to go and get them. So bear with me while I just go. I'm literally just going across the other side of the room. So bear with. Okay, in fact, I can still talk to you. I'm just going into a cabinet and I'm getting my fan flaps. Those are one of the things that I forgot. Here we go, look. We have my 3 fans. We have the fake news fan flap. We have the happy news fan flap. And we have hot news, hot news, I think we decided. So we have all my fans, which I'm going to put there on the side, a selection to choose from. But so far, I think we're having a good day. So let's give it a yellow happy fan flap, because I think everyone deserves a happy fan flap. And in fact, actually, I'm going to give Dee Dee a really happy fan flap, because that was an amazing tiara and it made a fabulous video. So thank you so much for going to the Amazon wish list and purchasing that. The link is in the description of this video. Let's have a look. Karen says, I'm in Alabama. You have lots of American viewers. I do indeed. In fact, I think America is, on my statistics, is one of my top countries for viewers. First Mrs. R says, do we know who went to church with Her Majesty this week? Well, obviously it's Sunday tomorrow, so we get the new who's at church on Sunday. So I'll make a video telling you who's been at church. And of course, I'll link to the photos like I have done in the previous weeks. But last week, we had quite a gathering. Zara and Mike were there. We saw Charles and Camilla. We saw the Queen and Philip. And the Wessexes were still there. So we are expecting perhaps, there was a lot of talk this week about Meghan and Harry, where they've been on holiday. It was, of course, confirmed that they were not in LA or Canada, which is what I said. I said they were not there. So I feel quite good to be validated on that point, because I think I was one of the only voices anywhere that was saying, no, they're not there. Unless we see any evidence to say that they are, then they're not there. So they weren't in LA. They didn't go to Canada. We know that they did spend pretty much almost a week, maybe 4 or 5 days, with Charles and Camilla at the Castle of May, which is the Queen Mother's former castle that she bought in Scotland. Kind of like, I suppose, her semi-retirement property. She bought it after the death of George VI. And she obviously spent some time there. Charles also stays 1 week a year because, of course, the property is now held in trust. But he stays a week a year in the castle in August, and Harry and Meghan did join him, and that was before they attended the wedding of Charlie van Straubenzee. What a mouthful. Then we are expecting them either this week, so maybe tomorrow, Sunday, maybe next week, at Balmoral with the Queen. Again, we don't entirely know, so we'll have to... Oh, got a message on my computer. What does it say? That's fine. I thought it was something bad. So we're expecting them either this week or next, and possibly they may decide to coincide that with a visit from the Cambridges. Just need to click a button. Okay, it's trying to update something for me, rather annoyingly. Computers. So we're expecting them, the Cambridges and Harry and Meghan, possibly this week. Next week, we'll have to wait and see. Okay, I keep getting these weird messages. Stop. Right. Hang on. Right. There we go. I'm going to give my computer a black fan flap because it's playing me up right now. So that was who was at church this week. Harry and Meghan on holiday. They've also spent time with the Clooneys. So they've been to Italy in Lake Como, of their Clooney's Lake Como home. And they spent 4 days there. And of course, it was secret. It was a secret visit. until they were back. And then, of course, the British media were allowed to talk about it. So they spent some time there. And the rest of the time, they have just been either in their home in the Cotswolds, their sort of country cottage which they're renting, or they've been back at home at Kensington Palace in Nottingham Cottage. So no Canada, no LA, no visit to see Doria, no visit to see the dad. If you saw any of those videos, they were wrong and they were fake news. And of course, I held back on posting any of that nonsense because I couldn't confirm that it was true. So I feel quite vindicated and validated on what I've been saying. So I just want to go now and see what you guys are saying. Margaret McCulloch says, Pamela Miller, that was a dog that Meghan already owned when she lived in Canada. There are pictures of her on her blog about it. Yes, she did own 2 dogs when she was in Canada, and she could only bring one back. Jamie says, hi, Elliot, I watch you all the time. This is my first chat. No, it's not. It's our resident moderator, Jamie, otherwise known as HM the King. So make sure you all behave. How many is watching now? Let me have a look. 196. Wow. Hello to every 196 of you. Janine Bell says, Elliot, my daughter has been asking about where Duchess Meghan has been. I think I've just answered that. Catherine from Florida is obsessed with the royals. Christine says, I watched that documentary and I have to say I really didn't care for it. I cringed when they said the royal family was the longest running reality show. Oh, they didn't. Oh, they get a black fan for that. I'm not very keen on that one. I'm glad I didn't see it. Ned says, have I ever had haggis? No, I haven't. But if it tastes anything like an olive or a pickle, I don't think I want to. Sunshine says, sell the tiaras and make extra money. No, I like them. They're part of a collection. Why would I sell them? I like them. Amber Oakley says, hello, Elliot. Hello to you. Deborah says, have I missed much? Well, you can always catch up on what you have missed. Because obviously once this video is finished, it goes live on, not live, it goes recorded on my channel, the recorded version of this live chat. Astrid wishes everyone a fine weekend. Thank you so much. Mrs. VSNCO9 watched the ABC programme and you enjoyed it. Okay. Dark Storm's Empire says, the reason why I'm a renewed fan of the tiaras is because I watched the royal wedding, didn't care about Meghan. I wanted to see what tiara she would wear. Well, now you know that you can get one, so why not? Hello to Maggie from Florida. Sue Miller says, best fake news of the week. The Queen has sent the Secret Service to deal with Doria. Really? Did someone say that? That is completely the fakest news ever. Who comes up with this? I really don't know. Texan says, all you need now is bagpipes. I do, and I love bagpipes too. I find them quite rousing and quite, I don't know, I just really love bagpipes. The Queen, of course, gets piped up by bagpipes every morning, and I think I would quite like that too. Laurie Clark says, is Meghan still here in North America? She was never in North America. And of course, she is most definitely in the UK. And the reason why you haven't seen any sightings on the news is because she wasn't there. You obviously saw some fake news. Jeff says, let me know if you see this, having problems. Yes, I can see it. Dawn says, purple is my favourite colour as well. Oh, Seaside Mom was formerly, oh dear. Okay, there you go. Now I know. Now I know who you are. Hello to you. Seaside Mom. D. Ray says, I love the tiara, DD. I want one. Hello to Maria Currion. Candice says, so many rumours about where is Meghan. Do you know where she is currently? Well, we presume in the UK. And to be honest, there's no point speculating because we will never know where she's been until after she's been wherever it is that she's been. Unless, of course, there is an actual paparazzi photo that exists, which either confirms something. But at the moment, we think she's in the UK, possibly at Balmoral. We will see tomorrow. Obviously, when the royals leave for church, we will see who's there. Let's hold out and see. Hello to Victoria in Canada. Hello to Barbara. And Dorothy Gibbs says, I saw the show on the Royals. It's good. So much info on the Royals. It's something new. Obviously, I haven't seen it, so I can't actually comment. Arnold Sanders says, I have flagged 3 channels already for spam and fake. Do the same. There you go. Don't flag mine. Dawn says, saw another video today saying that Harry and Meghan did adopt a dog to be a friend to the dog she bought from Canada. I can neither confirm nor deny, because where did you actually hear that from? Benedict says the Norwegian royals and the British royals are related. Queen Elizabeth II and Harold V are second cousins. Well, of course, the European royals are directly related to the British royal family because, well, mainly because of Queen Victoria, because Queen Victoria had her daughters married off all around Europe. So, of course, there are connections all the way through Europe. So I'm totally not surprised. I think that is the reason why they are all connected. Helen R.T. says, thank you. I'm so happy that you keep track on everything about the British royal family for us. Always a balanced, truthful source. I do try. I try my best. Margaret McCulloch says, I would like to invite everyone to enjoy a cup of tea with me and watch Elliot on this lovely live chat. I wonder how many of you will join in. Well, I have my tea as well. It's here. In fact, it's right in front of me. I'm just waiting for it to cool down a little bit, and then I might take a sip. Sunshine says, the Daily Mail says that Meghan got a new dog and that she left after a fight with Harry and went to Canada. What? Okay, the dog bit, I could kind of understand, unless it's confirmed. I'm not going to say yes or no, but I can understand that. But left for Canada after a fight with Harry? Come on. Seriously? Really? Fake news. My goodness, you guys should be able to spot now what's fake or not. Come on. Pasita Charles says, hello to you. Darkstorm's Empire says, look this up on Amazon. I have it. Oh, you looked it up on Amazon. You have it coming. Stuff wholesale, crystal rhinestone, full-size crown. Oh, I may have seen that one. If it's a really, really big one, I think I may have already seen it. Vinny Blair says, okay, what GMB, Good Morning Britain interview is Arnold talking about? I need to watch. If it's the Thomas Markle one, just type in Thomas Markle Good Morning Britain and it will come up. To Donna from Saskatoon. Angelique says, have the value of European dollars going down versus US dollars? I'm not sure about that. Countess Bavaria says, that was so pleasing that you were right about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex where they were these last few weeks. Yes, I'm so pleased that I was right. Darkstorm's Empire says, long live the Queen. Sweet Serenity is missing Harry and Meghan. Deborah Fraser says, hi everyone. Actually, it is on YouTube. I myself enjoyed it when featured on the channel ABC. Mrs. VSN9 says, fan flap the computer. I think I should fan flap the computer. And yes, I think the Queen is rather beautiful. SS Dawn says, when does school start up again for George and Charlotte? It's early September. I'm not sure the exact start date, but early September. You're a teacher here in the US, and we started last week. Yes, it'll be the first week in September. Sometimes they have teacher training days, so it could be back on a Wednesday. Although it's a private school, so it could even be the week after. But definitely early September for George and Charlotte. Seaside Mom says, shame they didn't go see Thomas Markle and get things sorted. I think Meghan's leaving some breathing room and some time for thoughtful reflection, hopefully, for Thomas. Benedict says, Princess Maud of Wales, daughter of Edward VII, married Prince Carl of Denmark. After a referendum in 1905, Carl became King Haakon VII of Norway, and Maud of Wales became Queen Maud of Norway. Thank you for the history. I quite enjoyed that. Pamela says, we thank you for the hilarious Balmoral hamper video. I will send my NC USA basket of NC goods soon. What address do I use? I have a PO box address, and if you contact me, I'm not sure whether YouTube's removed the message function, but I will find a way of contacting you, and I will give you that address, unless someone can type it in here already. But yes, the hamper video. Oh my goodness, there were two things I hated: olives and pickles, and it confirmed that I still hate olives and pickles. Please go and watch that video; it's quite funny. And yes, I hope. Well, I know that Jamie did have a really good time in Germany last week. Sweet Serenity says, "Love the way you fan flap," and greetings from Boston, from Maslas. Vianula says, "Did Harry and Meghan go on vacation with the Queen? Not that we know of yet, but we may find out tomorrow. So hopefully they have, and we will likely see something hopefully tomorrow. So I'll be able to answer that question in a video tomorrow." Bojang says, "I know that you don't publish fake news. That's why I love you." Thank you so much. Maya says, "Hot News is one of the garbage distributors." Oh, by the way, I did look at some of these like fake news channels, and I have a theory. I have a theory that the same person or group of people are behind all of them, because they have very, very similar styles of putting the videos together, like the breaking news things. Everything seems very, very, very similar. So I'm thinking it's the same person behind everything. That's just a theory, but there we go. See what you think. Benedict says, "I sent a congratulatory letter to the King and Queen of Norway for their upcoming golden wedding anniversary." Vicky P is on a car trip from Virginia to Atlanta, but you still had to join the live chat. Well, thank goodness for mobile phones or tablets. Mrs. VSN09 says, "Oh, and the picture is not blurry. Thank goodness for that." Because last week I was stressing. Megan on the brain says, "If you missed the royals on television, I believe it's replaying on YouTube for those who don't live in America." Oh, well, there you go. I can catch up. The JST says, "Elliot, the fan flaps make me giggle every time." Well, how about a giggly happy fan flap from me to you? Laurie Clark says, "I put that tiara in my cart. It's delicious." Did you see the sparkle on it? It was in the plastic bag and it was still sparkling. My goodness. You can see why Meghan chose that tiara, in the lovely classic Art Deco style, but also that sparkle. I mean, she must have felt just like a princess. Totally. I mean, it was the perfect, I think, wedding tiara choice for Meghan. And I hope that the Queen has given it to her on long-term loan, because I think it's a sort of tiara that she could wear almost for any occasion. It's really, really good. But the real one would obviously be a lot heavier, set in platinum. And of course, let's not forget that diamonds are actually rocks. So, you know, diamonds are actually quite weighty. And with all those diamonds and the platinum, it would be quite a heavy weight. The only difference between Meghan's and the one, obviously, that I've got is obviously mine are fake stones and not platinum. I wish it was. But Meghan's did have a black velvet base for obviously added comfort, because if you've got the extra weight pressing down on your head, bare metal on your scalp wouldn't be very good. So she had it redone in a black kind of velvet band to obviously match her hairstyle. And so the tiara was done up for her. So that makes me think that if they did it up for her, because it was previously on a kind of like a whitish cream blonde band, obviously for fairer hair. Well, actually, if the last time it was worn was Queen Mary had grey hair, so it would have been Queen Mary's band, the original band that Queen Mary had. So it was redone in black for Meghan. So that makes me think if they went to all that trouble, perhaps it is on long-term loan, but we won't ever get to find out until the next state occasion, such as a state banquet. And we know that Harry hasn't attended many, but now that he's married, maybe he will. So keep an eye out for the next state banquet, which is the next likely opportunity that we will get to see Meghan wearing a tiara. But I really wish it would hurry up. James Med4 says, the tiara Meghan wore at first, I thought it was a diamond headband. So many great Instagram pages about royal tiaras and jewels. Kuala Lumpur says, hello, Elliot. Always a treat to watch you live. Thanks so much for thinking about your fans and putting to rest all the fake news. We can always rely on you for the real news and the truth. Well, thank you so much. And I think I'm going to have to pause and get a little drink. So I can feel my throat going. It's all the talking. It's because I'm such a quiet wallflower the rest of the week. I hide my face. Oh, my corgi face mask, which I've brought out for anything that I don't want to see or hear, such as all the fake news. I can just cover my face because I don't want to see. So there we go. That's the corgi face mask. It's nice, but it's still really, really hot. Oh, you know when you really, really want to drink, but it's too hot. I'm not sure if you've seen my London cup before, but those of you who are regulars will have done. But this is my London cup, and it keeps my drink really, really hot. Clear my throat. Okay. I had to mute that cough because I really needed to clear my throat. Okay, Candice says, I really enjoyed watching and listening to you. You're so entertaining. Thank you so much. I was about to say interesting, but it's entertaining. I'll take both. They both work. Anita says, hello from Oregon in the US. Seaside Mom says, Meghan is on her way to visit Elliot and share one of his hampers. Fake news. I'm calling you out. Fake news. But I wish he was, because I would share. Astrid says, think all of the royal family are in Scotland and have a fun holiday. Well, Charles and Camilla don't take up any room at Balmoral because they have Burke Hall, which again was one of the Queen Mother's properties on the Balmoral estate while she was alive. Charles took it over when she passed away. But Balmoral Castle, it looks humongous, but with all the staff quarters and all the kind of, the big palatial rooms, there isn't actually that much accommodation in terms of bedrooms, which is why the royal family kind of come and go in bits and bobs, because otherwise they, the Queen literally couldn't accommodate all of them at once. So that's why we see sort of bits and bobs. I'm expecting the Wessexes probably to have gone by now, although they may return in a few weeks, who knows. But I do think that we may get a glimpse of Harry and Meghan, or the Cambridges, or both. I think Zara and Mike may have gone now. But again, we're just going to have to wait and see tomorrow. Have I heard anything on going to Eugenie's wedding yet? No. And they did say that if you didn't hear anything, then that meant that you weren't going. But I think they were due to contact in September. So there's still time. I still could be going. We'll have to wait and see on that one as well. But of course, as soon as I know, I will let you know. Most definitely. Nora Cherry says, hello, Elliot. Late joining. Love your my bow tie. Yes, it is the Royal Stuart bow tie. And it matches the hat. Darkstorm's Empire says, Elliot, if I was the Queen's personal advisor, if she asked me, should Meghan marry my grandson, I would give a firm answer, no, Your Majesty. Well, it's happened. There you go. It's happened. And the Queen, of course, was very, very happy to have Meghan in the family. And yes, keep the thumbs up. Thank you, Pam. Benedict says the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will be coming to Australia in October for the Invictus Games. They will indeed, which will be another really good opportunity to see Meghan and see what she's wearing. And, one of her, I think it will be her first, won't it? It'll be her first overseas tour, which will be really, really good because she's combining the Invictus with Harry. We've also kind of like a mini sort of whistle-stop tour. Hello to Lady Buckingham Dawn, who says, hi everyone, just got here. What is the royal show that everyone's been seeing? Everyone's been talking about. It's apparently ABC and apparently reshowed on YouTube somewhere. Jamie says tiara sales have skyrocketed. Yes, hot news. Hot news. Tiara sales have rocketed. Oh, that matches the hat. Look. Okay, pose. Madonna, pose. Vogue. I like it. I like the hot news fan flap. There we go. I've been dying to fan flap that. Laurie Clark says, how long do you think it'll be before we see new pictures of Louis? Oh, okay, I don't know. Simple answer, I don't know. Oh, I mean, unless we see him out and about, which I don't think so. Possibly Christmas, possibly for the Christmas card. I'm going to say the Christmas card, the Cambridge's official Christmas card. We may see a photo of him then, but it may not be a current picture. It may be one they took a few weeks or months earlier. I don't know, but possibly Christmas, and then possibly his birthday, his first birthday. Unless we see anything else in the meantime that might just pop up. James Medford says, did you see where Brother Markle demands to be treated the same as the Middletons? I say, then behave with loyalty and decorum as they do. I would agree. And of course, he was referring to Catherine's uncle, Gary Goldsmith, who has been a little bit of a rogue in his time, shall we say. And I think the Markles are kind of thinking, well, if they treat him good, then they should treat us good. But the thing is, he's only her uncle. And, it isn't Catherine's father that's playing up, or the immediate family. It's a kind of like a rogue uncle, so to speak. And nevertheless, he's still a lovable rogue. And even though he's a rogue, he has never spoken out against anyone, against Catherine or the royals or anybody. So it's a bit of an unfair, unjust comparison, I feel. Vinny Blair says, I love that William and Harry keep a low profile when they are off duty. Let the media make up all the fake news they want to, and then we hear it was all fake. Toronto trip indeed. Yes. Lots of fake news out there. There is so much. I mean, when I first started doing YouTube, there wasn't that many channels about the royal family at all. In fact, I think I was probably one of the only ones. And, slowly people have kind of twigged onto the fact that people watch stories about the royals, and then they just post the most horrendous fake news just to get views, and it's so annoying. Especially when, you put a scandalous headline, and of course you get, so many, possibly hundreds of thousands of views, but I just can't bring myself to do that. It's ridiculous. But yes, only real news, as good as I know it to be real, on this channel from me. Sweet Serenity says, everyone wants to look as wonderful as I did with the tiara. In fact, I might wear the tiara next week. Joyce Smythe is remembering the bagpipes being played, Amazing Grace, the night after 9/11. That must have been really profound and rousing. And yes, I hope Harry and Meghan have children really soon too, Astrid. Glassery says, take a look at King Christian of Denmark, father of Europe. He was Queen Alexandra's father, and his family is on all thrones, more prolific than Queen Victoria. Wow. Hot news. More prolific than Queen Victoria. But yes, I mean, the royal families are so, intertwined in Europe that, of course, they're all related to each other. Totally. Mrs. BSN09 says, I'm reading an article now that says David Beckham is joining the Duke and Duchess of Sussex on their tour. I saw the headline, but I didn't read the article, so I can't comment. But I think it's just for a portion of the tour. I think just a little tiny bit. Is it for the Invictus Games one, or is it for an engagement back in the UK? I haven't read the article yet, so I'm not entirely sure. But of course, I may reference it in an upcoming video if it is worthy of such an accolade. No, Mattis, I have no packages tonight to open, and I need to go to my PO box address because I believe something may be there that was sent. So I do need to go and check that one out. So hopefully next week there might be some things. And also, if anyone buys anything from the wish list this week, hopefully it should arrive again for next week. Jamie says, Elliot, you should have an intro. What's the story in Balmoral? What's the story Balmoral? Yeah, like What's the Story Balamory, a children's TV show in the UK, for those who don't know. Joanne Corn says, I am also thinking about getting a Meghan tiara. Don't think about it. Just do it. Just get it. Pamela heard Meghan and Harry adopted a Labrador. Again, I've not heard it. until we know for definite, I'm calling it as fake news. No news if I'm attending the wedding. I should hear early September. So soon, very, very soon. And yes, please give me a thumbs up. How many's watching now? 214. Wow. Thank you to everyone. Hello to Deborah, who's in Beaumont, California. Sunshine says, why? I wonder, hasn't Doria called Thomas and told him to keep quiet? We don't know that she hasn't. She may have done. He may be choosing not to take that advice. We don't know. Maya J says, I have my tea here. Thank you for the invite. Laurie Clark says, there was a wonderful video of Her Majesty visiting canine partners. Her face just lit up when she saw the service dogs. Yes, of course, a really big dog lover, as we know. And horses. Dogs and horses. Every countrywoman's delight. Hello to you, Joyce in Maine. And Green Queen Bee, who says, hi, everyone. Deborah Snyder says, love the new set you made. Can you recommend good teas? I'm a big tea drinker. Twinings is always good. Personally, in the UK, my home sort of brew, which I have in my house every day, which I drink daily, is the Sainsbury's supermarket Red Label. I don't know if any of you can get that at all, but I really do like the taste. It's what I've had since when I was a child, and it's my go-to tea. I don't have that in my cup today. I have a special one which I use for my live chats. I have a Twinings one with bergamot. But yeah, I mean, there are so many good teas. I think, you need to sample all of them. Why not? Do I have any children? No, but I would like to one day. Kim, don't worry. You can always catch up live after this is finished. Well, not live. It'll be pre-recorded, obviously. Helen hates olives too. Okay, have I been to Scotland? No, but again, I'd like to because there's so much to see. There is the Palace of Holyrood House. There's Edinburgh Castle. There's so much to see. I would really love to. Oh, and the Royal Yacht Britannia is up by Edinburgh too. So I would, in Leith Dock, I do believe. So there are lots of things that I would really, really like to go and see up in Edinburgh. And of course, film, if I can. Mrs. BS709 says, this is the best channel for truth and education on the royal family. Thank you so much. Hello to... I've said hello to Mary. Book Princess says, only a quick hello from Germany today. Can't follow the complete chat, but must have a short glimpse of what you wear tonight. Look amazing. I enjoy your work so much. Never end it. God bless you. Thank you so, so much. And hello to everybody in Germany. Janine Bell says, I hate the voices on the other channels. Those robotic voices. Yes, they are rather terrible. Christine says, I think you could be right about those other channels. Mrs. VSN says, I agree with you on the same person behind those fake channels, the robot voice and clickbait titles. It's all the same kind of style. Pretty much. I definitely think it's the same person. Hello to Janice Hunter and Martin Gahan, who says, hi. Sunshine says, I'd love that tiara as a necklace. Make one and sell it. You probably could wear it, actually. If you fashioned it in the right way, you probably could. Angelique Lovely says, happy belated birthday. Thank you so, so much. Mine was August the 4th, as you all know. Fanny Blair says, I agree. It's a small group clique putting out these fake news videos. They are not even anti-royalists. They are mercenaries. Money is their sole objective. Yes, they do not care what they put out as long as it gets clicks and they get money. And also there is a trend for making videos last 10 minutes long so they can put about 1 million adverts in them, and they go way, way over what the actual content of the title is just to bulk up the time so they can put extra adverts. And I'm sure it's the same person doing that too. So look out. Barbara Lane says, you could be right about the fake news. Such ugly words being said. Meghan and Harry are so cute together. In fact, there was one that was putting out some really weird titles about the Queen. I'll have to tell you about that another time. In fact, I may even do a video exposing all these royal fake channels and actually name them, name and shame. Shall I name and shame them? Let me know. Oh, it's 5:30 for Janine Bell. Yes, I've had a great day. In fact, it's 11:15 of an evening here in the UK. Kim says, you think that I'm right, we should boycott all those channels. Well, it just feeds them. If you click on them, it feeds them. And you can usually tell by the title if it's true or not. And if they always start with a title that makes it sound like they are sure that something is happening, and then within the first few sentences they say, a royal source says, or a royal insider says, or a source close to the royal family says, then that is your clue to exit, because it is fake news. Because, you know, these sources, no, fake. Kimberly says, after watching you go through your box of Balmoral goodies, I looked up the chocolate honeycomb crisp. Only takes 3 ingredients to make: regular sugar, honey, and baking soda. Well, there you go. Oh, by the way, it was delicious. I finished it off with a cup of tea. And for those of you wondering what happened to the rest of the food, my dad really enjoyed the olives. He ate them all in one go. I couldn't even manage putting one on my tongue. He liked the pickle. He's got through some of the pickle. I've eaten the breadsticks already with some hummus and tuna. I used it to dip them up and eat that. The Dundee cake I've still got wrapped up in a tin for preservation. And what else was that? I've eaten the honeycomb. The jam is still in the fridge. So yeah, so everything didn't get wasted. Oh, my mom had the soup, because obviously I opened a tin of soup and I only had a tiny bit. So my mom had the soup for her lunch the following day. So everything. Oh, and my dad liked the nuts as well. So all the food has been used and eaten. Nothing went to waste. So if ever I do a food opening, it always gets ate. I do not waste food. 2:30 p.m. on a Saturday for Janice. Joanne Corn says, love your fake news fan. Karen says, seems very quiet on the royal news front. It does, because obviously it's the holidays, but should start back in earnest in September. Vinnie Blair says, I think the tech tiara on its higher base will be her formal tiara, similar to how Catherine has access to levels of tiaras. Again, yes, we could see. I mean, actually, usually royal brides do wear their wedding tiara on more than one occasion. Catherine is actually the exception to this, because obviously she wore the Cartier Halo tiara and she's never worn it since. So Catherine is the exception, but usually we do see them keep their wedding tiara pretty much. So I think Meghan will retain this tiara, but only time will tell. That is speculation, not fake news. It's just a well thought out speculation, I think. Sheila says, we love Meghan. She is very representative of the Commonwealth peoples that she will serve alongside her husband. It's really, really great to get some diversity into the royal family. I agree. Arnold Sanders loves a sparkle. It was an incredible sparkle. I think out of all of the tiaras I've got, it was the most. It was the best sparkle ever. It was amazing. Talk about the Markle sparkle. It was amazing. And by the way, I do apologise for putting Meghan in brackets Markle, the Duchess of Sussex wedding tiara. And I did that for 2 reasons. One, because I was really, really, really proud of the video and I wanted people to find it, because I know lots of people still search YouTube for Meghan Markle, not the Duchess of Sussex. So I put it in there for that, so that the video could actually be found and watched by people. But also I put it in inverted commas, because when she wore it as Meghan Markle going to the wedding to become the Duchess of Sussex. So it kind of works, because it was Meghan Markle at the altar becoming the Duchess of Sussex, and that was the tiara she wore. So for those of you who may have commented, don't call her Meghan Markle, you know me, I never do. But I was so proud of that video. I want people to find it and I want people to see it. And also, she was Meghan Markle when she wore it, becoming the Duchess. So there we go. I just thought I would explain that. Texan says, those videos spread defamation about the Queen, accusing her of killing Diana or being a reptilian. Oh, the reptilian thing. You know what I'm going to do. Yes, the reptilian thing. Ugh. I'm not even going to justify it with an answer. And yes, it is disgusting. Darkstorm's Empire says, I wish someone would make a group at Facebook, like a club for us Tiara fans, and who has them. Who knows? There might be. Have to have a look. And yes, people saying the videos are shocking and the content that they put in and how they're able to get away with it. I have no idea. Helen says, is Burke Hall the estate the Queen Mother buys in The Crown? No, that's the Castle of May. That's where Harry and Meghan stayed. I mean, obviously, the one in The Crown, I don't think it was the actual Castle of May. I don't think it was. But yes, the one that the Queen Mother buys in The Crown is the Castle of May, and that's where Harry and Meghan stayed with Charles and Camilla before they attended the wedding of Charlie van Straubenzee. Maya says, text on absolutely, as well as PP being the same. Oh, Prince Philip being the same as a Nazi. Yes, there's so much fake news. Oh, back to the Burke Hall thing. Burke Hall is on the Balmoral estate, so it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe a mile on the same estate away from the actual main Balmoral house. And it's where Charles, when he was at school at Gordonston, he used to go and spend lots of weekends with the Queen Mother at Burke Hall. And that's another reason why their relationship was so close. How many do we have watching? 217. Please give me a big thumbs up if you're watching. James, oh, hang on. Candice says, you're very interesting and entertaining and extremely knowledgeable. Thank you so much. Jamie says, text on, the Queen is a reptilian, she told me herself in the crocodile section at the London Zoo. She is not a reptilian, I must say. HA London, hello to you. Do I have a Royal Reviewer Facebook page? Yes. And I also have a Royal Reviewer. It's called British Royals by Royal Reviewer. And that's a big open group. Then there is the Royal Reviewer page on Facebook. And I also have a Royal Reviewer patron page. So if you are a member of Patreon and you are one of my patrons on Patreon, it's patreon.com, Patreon. There's an app and also a website, and you sign up, and it's a site where you can support the channels which make YouTube videos. So if you want to, for example, leave someone a tip, or if you've enjoyed a video and you want to support them and you want to support them monthly, you can do that by going to Patreon, find their page and subscribe to different tiers on there. And I've got one, and there's all kinds of different tiers from $1 all the way to $100. I've just updated my Patreon actually. So there's all different levels of support. You can join and cancel whenever you want. And also there are different rewards. So each tier has a different reward. So you actually get something back. You actually, you're giving to and supporting the channel, but you're also getting something back. So do go and check out my Patreon page, Royal Reviewer on Patreon, and you'll see all the different levels of rewards. It includes things like Christmas cards from me, personal, handwritten, signed, access to the Facebook group, exclusive posts and videos that I put on Patreon, and pictures, all kinds of different things. If you're the $100 a month subscriber, I mean, I've only just updated that. I've said that I will do personalized, handwritten pen pal letters, unlimited. So you can write to me all the time, a continual stream of penned, handwritten letters. And in fact, that's inspired by Meghan, because I know she has a love of the handwritten notes and handwritten letters. So there's all kinds of different things. So do go and check out my Patreon page. I have put the link in the description of this video, as well as the link to the Amazon wishlist. DD says, why do some people think Tom Markle's silly, uninformed comments could impact the royal family? I think they see him more as an annoyance, and sad for Meghan. He can't have any effect on the royal family, could he? No, I mean, when you think back to, for example, all the royal scandals in Diana's day, someone just speaking a load of silly nonsense is not going to bother them or harm them in any way, shape or form. Karen says, I think it's spelled Lewis. No, you spelt it right. It's pronounced Louis, as in Louis. Louis. Okay, everyone say it. Louis. 1, 2, 3. Say it loud. Louis. 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 Not Lewis. Louis. And so put it all together, blend it together. Louis. 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 Say it. Louis. There you go. Spoken like a true Brit. I should do language lessons, shouldn't I? I actually quite enjoyed that. Okay, moving on. Are you a laird yet? No, I still need to make that video, and I still need to make the Victoria sponge. And I've got the right ingredients now. I've got the right butter. I've got stick butter, English stick butter, and I also have the sugar that I couldn't find. I ordered it off the internet, and it's the one which the royal family actually use. So the ingredients are very authentic, and I will make that Victoria sponge. And I will do the laird video as well. In fact, I'll do it this week. I'll do the laird video this week because obviously I want to be a laird whilst I'm still in my Scottish gear, in my Scottish apparel. Christine says, do Meghan and Harry have engagements coming up? Yes, they do. I made a video on it, so do go and check that out. I included them in the one about their holidays at the very end of the video. Miss Mass Lass says, you look very dashing in your Scottish regalia. Thank you so much. Texan says the Queen would never take action against them, of course, but defamation in the US is not protected free speech. T-Sweet can always tell the fake news sites due to their electronic voices. Well, yes. Darkstorm's Empire would like a group on Facebook for tiaras and crowns. It's quite a good idea. You should make one. Make one up. If you make one, I will tell everyone about it here on the chat. HA London says, I belong in Hollywood. As long as I can get a really nice house. Send me to Hollywood, and as long as I can buy a really nice house. Laurie Clark says, good call. I agree. Christmas card photos. I think it will be. Pamela is nominating me for a Vogue article. I think I could write a Vogue article. Darkstorm says, by the way, I wish I was your personal royal advisor and lived in your neighbourhood. It would be nice to have quite a few people local, actually. Okay. Laurie says, hi from Michigan in the USA. Whom are your favourite royals, both past, deceased and present? Well, I'm currently reading a book, or rather the tail end of a book, about Queen Elizabeth I. I think she's probably my favourite monarch deceased. Oh, I mean, obviously Diana as well. But, you know, if we're talking monarchs, Elizabeth I. Current, well, I'm really intrigued by Lady Louise Windsor. I think she's fascinating, and I love to see her on more engagements. The ones we saw her with her mother recently before all the summer holiday breakup, I think she did really, really well. I'd love to see more of Louise Wessex. Kathy G says she's torn between liking and disliking Camilla. She should have waited for the marriage to be over. Any thoughts? Again, it's one of those things. Some people like her, some people don't. I personally like. It's not a competition for me between Diana and Camilla. I like them both. I see no problem with liking them both. It doesn't conflict me in any way, shape, or form. What's happened has already been and gone and happened. And, you know, people go through problems. Just because they're royal doesn't mean they don't go through problems and hassles and traumas and trials and tribulations. It makes people grow stronger in the long run. And, you know, had Diana lived, we could be looking at things completely differently. Diana, you know, could have gone on to have a fabulous life post royal family. We don't know. That's something we aren't ever going to know. But what we do know, what we can see quite clearly now in reality, is that Camilla and Charles were always made to be together, and they make each other happy. And that's all that matters. You know, we could be looking at a situation where if Diana had lived, she'd be very, very happy now. Perhaps, maybe. We don't know. But at least we have one of them that's happy. And, you know, we should perhaps maybe take some kind of comfort in that somewhere along the line. But I see no problem or confliction in liking both of them. You know, I'm a huge Diana fan and completely support Diana. But again, I also like Camilla. They're just both very different, you know, characters. And I think it's good that Charles is happy now. And of course, if William and Harry have accepted her, then maybe it's time other people should too. Donna says, did they publicise the criteria for attending the Eugenie's wedding? Was it a random selection? Yes, it was just basically names in a ballot. You're drawn out and you get accepted if your name is pulled out. But as far as I'm aware, they haven't drawn it yet. Donna says, I want to speculate Charles has to have a mistress. Now that he and Camilla are married, who is his mistress? Who is his mistress, rather? I'm going to give you a fake news fan flap. As far as we are aware, there is no mistress. I think Charles always loved Camilla. I think it was always Camilla that he wanted. And I think she was the only mistress that he's had. And I think now that he's been able to have Camilla fully, no need for a mistress. Linda P says, hello, Elliot. Get out the red fan. People magazine is reporting the Sussexes have added a new dog to their family. Well, yes, we're not sure because we don't know if it's true or not. Although then again, it's not completely without the realms of possibility. So until we actually see this dog or evidence of this dog, we should take it with a pinch of salt. So I'm going to give it a half fan flap like this because we don't know. We'll have to just wait and see, I think, with that one. HA London says, so many YouTube channels will report anything just to get people to watch. Mostly total garbage and completely made up. I would agree with that totally. Vinny Blair says, it's too late for the Markles to get in with the Middletons and get the Middleton treat. Oh, to get in with the Windsors and get the Middleton treatment. After all the insults to Harry and the Queen, no one is going to break bread with this lot. It's never too late to reconcile. Okay, I'm going to skip a few questions because I want to get down a little bit further down. And let's have a look. Dorothy Gibbs says the latest fake news I heard is that Meghan is pregnant. Again, we don't know on that one. And Charles let slip, so according to them, that makes it true. There has been no slip of Charles's tongue because we haven't even seen Charles for ages, apart from the church. So I'm calling that as fake news. People will say anything. People saying it was the perfect tiara for Meghan. Helen says Fortnum and Mason Royal Blend is a good tea. Let's have a look. Rodney Jackson says, is there any truth about the royals? They don't have full custody of their children. Well, I saw this story and I looked into it and I've got the correct name of it here. So yes, there is this rule, or rather a legislation which was passed into law. It was George I who didn't really trust his son, George II. Who became George II, I should say. And George I wanted to have some kind of assurance over his grandchildren, who obviously would be in line to the throne. So he introduced this law, and it is called, let me go and find it, hang on. The Grand Opinion for the Prerogative Concerning the Royal Family. What a grand title. But basically, what it means is there is a difference between physical custody in law and the rights of parents for their children. So physical custody, the parents of those grandchildren of the monarch have physical custody. In terms of legal rights, those parents, because of this law, don't have the full set of parental legal rights as what, for example, you and I would have if I had children and my father was the king, for example. But those rights only extend to things like schooling. So it's a bit like they have to get the approval of the monarch to make sure that they're happy with the parents' choice of schools. And also it affects things like travel. So, for example, when they go in and out of the country, if they travel together, for example, there has to be permission. But this only affects grandchildren. So William and Harry, when they were young, it affected them. So Charles and Diana had custody, physical custody, but they didn't have full legal rights because they had to obviously check with the Queen first. But obviously they're the ones making the decisions and choices. The Queen obviously doesn't want to interfere and get involved. As far as we're aware, she's never vetoed anything. Think of it a bit like a veto, I suppose. But this rule is not going to affect William and Catherine's children, George, Louis, Charlotte, or if Harry and Meghan have children now, because their children would be great-grandchildren of the monarch. It would affect them when Charles becomes king, because then they would be grandchildren of the monarch, and that law would apply. But like I say, it's not full custody, and people were saying in these articles, you know, that the reason why it was never discussed in Diana's divorce was because the Queen has full custody, and I would dispute that. I would say that it didn't come up in the divorce because custody was never an issue. It was never disputed. Let's bear in mind that William and Harry spend the majority of their life when they were that age, when it was all going on, at boarding school. There was only 80 days in the whole year when they weren't at boarding school. And that time was split equally between Charles and Diana. And that had been going on ever since their separation, years and years and years before the actual divorce. So there was already a really good, robust custody model that they'd all agreed on. So there was no need for custody to form part of the divorce. I believe it was nothing to do with this whole custody legal thing about the Queen. It was just that there was already something in place. Focus. The camera's focusing. Come on, focus. There we go. There was already something in place which was adequate and agreeable to all parties. So, and also, I've read a book by the Queen's bodyguard, and well, not bodyguard, the Queen's protection officer, personal protection officer, which said that she took the royals on holiday just like that, without permission anyway. So, you know, the Queen is not like hands-on with this. It's not a big hands-on thing. It's just they probably have slightly less legal rights than an average parent. They have to check things out, certain things. But it's no more than the well-known fact that they have to, for example, check with the Queen to get permission for two heirs to the throne traveling on the same plane. Diana had to get permission for that as well. So it's no different to that. There's no big hoopla about it. It's not really hot news. It's just somebody, again, regurgitating old facts. And I hope I've explained that really, really well, and hope you get a better sense of that. I was going to make a video on it. I may still make a separate video on it, but I hope you all understand. Now, I don't know if I should skip down because I probably missed out loads and loads and loads of questions. I am going to skip all the way down to the bottom, maybe skip up a little bit. And if I've missed any of your questions that are really important, then please type it again. Donna says, you look marvellous. Thank you so, so much. Rosie Chaplet says, I'm glad you don't create Camilla drama. Why should I? I like Camilla. I like Diana. No drama. This is a no drama channel. Dark Storms Empire says, oh my god, did you see the video on the 5 tiara? Yes. You wish you were filthy rich to buy it. It would be really, really lovely to own a proper tiara, definitely. Sandy says, we'll be drinking gin and Dubonnet with a twist next week. What's the twist? Helen totally agrees about Diana and Camilla. Jojo says, here. Gerald says, Laird Elliot. I have a kit. I had a kit off my wish list where I can do something on the computer and become a laird. I don't know. I need to do it for a video and take you all on that laird journey. Jamie says, best past monarch is George VI. Never before had our islands been exposed to such perils. Kim says, personal opinion can't change the royal family. Mrs. VS79 says, Diana's children are both happy, and that is something she would have wanted more than her own life. And yes, it does make sense. Okay, Betsy says, the sound has gone missing. Oh no, please refresh. It shows as working for me. Maria says, "Hi Elliot, I like the way you explain everything. That way we get to know." Rosary says, "Good talking about the Child Custody Act." Betsy says her hearing aids went wonky. Readjust. Dee Dee says, "Agreed, it's okay to love Diana, but support Camilla. As far as Meghan's half-siblings, Meghan cut them off years ago, so there's nothing for the Windsors to accept. Only possibility is Thomas." Yeah, there's definitely... Oh, I did hear something else as well. Somebody, I can't remember who, someone who knew Diana, it may have even been Paul Burrell, I don't know, can't remember. Someone said that the way that Harry kind of freezes people out is a bit like Diana. And yes, I read the book where Diana, if she fell out with people, if she felt betrayed, if she felt, upset by someone, she would freeze them out. And I think Harry, is definitely a bit that way, like his mother. But also, I think Meghan is like that as well, and we know that because these troubles haven't just happened recently. She's not spoken to members of her family for a very, very long time. So you've got two people who are very much the same. They both, if you wrong them, they will freeze you out. And I think that's what we're seeing now with Meghan and the Markles. She's frozen them. And of course she has the support of Harry because he feels exactly the same way. In fact, very much they are two peas in a pod when it comes to freezing people out, and the way they deal with betrayal and upset. It's very, very similar. So they're both very supportive of each other in that circumstance. So don't cross or wrong Meghan and Harry because they will freeze you out. Totally. Roger Chappett says, "I know I had trouble looking for the act on Wikipedia. I found it in a very obscure document written in like 18th century English, which I had to kind of go over. So yeah, I really looked into it. And like I say, there is a difference between physical custody. So all these things that are saying the Queen has full legal custody, she doesn't have full legal custody, because full legal custody would be the Queen's decision for everything, and it's not. It's just certain things that the Queen has a right to be consulted on and a veto. So if she didn't like the sound, like I don't know, let's say for example, she didn't like the school, Thomas's school, Battersea, that William and Catherine had chosen for George, she could say, I don't like that school. He's not going there. Well, she hasn't said that. Obviously, she respects the opinions of the parents, but that's, I suppose, kind of like the extent of what it is, really. It's just an opinion that does carry some legal weight, but it doesn't mean that they haven't got physical custody. It doesn't mean that the Queen can just take them whenever she wants and do whatever. It is just kind of like an oversight with the upbringing of the children. Jamie says, "This came into action when Diana died. The Queen had to grant special permission for Charles, William and Harry to travel back to London." That is true. From Scotland on the same plane as they weren't allowed to. Yes, that is totally true. So there is, elements within everything that, that it does show itself. And it always has, but it's never been a problem. It's never been a big issue. It's just something that's been completely blown up. Mrs. VSN says, "I'm so glad you're discussing the custody about monarchs and grandchildren. I tweeted some of the publishers of an article saying current grandchildren are legal age and great-grandchildren are not covered." Yes, the great-grandchildren are not covered until Charles becomes king. Then what are now the great-grandchildren will be grandchildren of a monarch. Then they will be included, unless, of course, by that time they are of legal age. It's quite exhausting, isn't it? But it's nothing to worry our little heads over. We can sleep peacefully at night. The world is not rocked. Nothing has really changed at all. So it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Texan says, "One of the funny things I read online was if Meghan doesn't produce an heir, the Queen will kick her out of the palace." What? Oh, fakery. My goodness. Oh, Where do these people get it from? Seriously. Ingrid says, did I miss Elliot confirming if Meghan Markle and Harry are in a fight? They are not in a fight, and she hasn't left for Toronto. My goodness, more fake news. Oh, she hasn't left for Toronto over a fight. We may even see her at Balmoral tomorrow. Sheila says, reconciliation does not mean intimate fellowship or breaking bread if it's not communion. If they have, Markles, any good feelings for Meghan left, they wouldn't want to make personal appearances. And no, I'm not a Laird Elliot yet. I will do a baking video, and then you will see all the ingredients and me doing everything, even if I burn it. You will see the entire lot, warts and all. Angelique says, thank you for clearing that up about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's future children. Dorothy Gibbs says, it's that way in America too. Most people don't realise when a child is born here, nobody has legal custody. Yeah, it's different. Legal custody, in terms of the rights over them, and physical custody are separate. Texan says, the internet can be a cesspool of nonsense. It is indeed. Helen says, your brooch looks very interesting and beautiful. Please tell us about it. The brooch, well, it's a box bow designed by Dawn, who sent me them, and they're lovely. It's the Queen Victoria double bow brooch, and I put one of my own Scottish plume brooches right above. And I'm just wondering if you can see that there. Hopefully you can see that. But yes, it's a combination of brooches tonight, which I thought would look quite Scottish. And of course, Queen Victoria was the one who purchased Balmoral in the first place. Sheila Bloom says, I am late, being lazy. Hi, I despise the videos on Meghan and Harry and Camilla, etc. They are so fake. I hope the press drop the Markles. There are lots of fake news out there too. Lahos is from Hungary. Hello to you, and I hope I said your name correctly. No, Meghan has not travelled to Toronto or LA or anywhere else other than the Clooney's in Italy, the Castle of May, where she's been in Scotland, and the Cotswolds, where she's got a country home, and possibly Balmoral this week, but we'll have to wait and see. Shining Star says Meghan is not freezing her family out. She's doing what psychologists recommend with dysfunctional families and protecting herself. Educate yourself. Well, isn't it the same thing? Isn't freezing out and not talking to them, isn't it kind of the same thing, just a different word? Maybe it's a more sensationalist word, but isn't that pretty much the same thing? Cynthia Lewis says, kind of agree with the freezing. Sometimes you have to for self-protection. Sweet Serenity says, totally agree on the freezing out. Vicky P says, well, everyone has a right to do what works best for them. Jamie says, Meghan and the Markles sounds like a sitcom. There was talk of that. Believe me. Charlotte says, are Harry and Meghan allowed to travel on the same plane? Yes. What about their children? Yes. Will they have to travel separately from their parents? As far as I'm aware, no. I think it's just the heir and the direct heirs to the throne. Estee says, every grandmother gives their opinion. We feel it's our right. Well, there you go. I mean, it's pretty much a legal version of the interfering grandparent. Think of it that way. It's like a legal right for the Queen to be an interfering grandparent. There you go. Darkstorm says, if you create a group, would you want to be on board? I can be. I can be, yes, that's fine. Okay, lots of fake news. I'm just hearing lots of other things. Caroline Lee says, after the age of 12, Prince William and Prince George have to fly separately. Well, I think it's technically even younger, but you have to get the Queen's permission. Okay, I'm going to skip through some of the comments and go to the very bottom again. Sheila says, I don't think they are freezing them out, but they have to draw a line of demarcation with the Markles, as the media have such great access to them and they are loose lips. Shining Star says it is not the same thing. Freezing out suggests indulgent behaviour. Setting boundaries is about making people realise you will not respond to their threats like a terrorist. To me, that kind of seems like the same thing. It's just a different language use. Joanne Corn says, not sure why Meghan is not pregnant. Heard it's not good for her right now since Harry and she are travelling to Australia due to the Zika virus. Does Australia have Zika? If it does, then it may not be good, or they may wait until after before they start to plan a family. Jamie says, "Ugh, I'm so sick of talking about Meghan and the Markles. Can we not talk about anything else? We can." Helen says, "Same thing, different language. I agree." Yes, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. It's fine by me. In fact, I'm going to call a ban on Markle talk. So I do not want to see anything else on the Markles in this chat until it finishes. We are Markled out. I think we're all Markled out, aren't we? Let me see if I've missed anything from my list. I don't think I have. I think we've pretty much... the Queen sent many messages of condolence this week, didn't she? She sent one to Italy regarding the floods, Australia regarding the droughts, to Kofi Annan's widow because of his death. India, the floods, Australia, the drought, Kofi Annan's widow because of his death, and Italy was the bridge collapse. So lots of condolences being sent out from the Queen and Prince Philip this week. And I did, of course, make videos on those, so do go and watch them for the full unedited message. Prince George, there's a story about him with ballet. Yes, so when he starts back in school in September, he will be doing some ballet class. There is a compulsory 35-minute ballet class each week. And if they like it, they can choose to do further ballet as well. But lots of people commented on that video I made saying how they thought it was really, really good for George, the future king, to be learning ballet. And I agree. I think it's a really lovely thing to be doing. And if he takes to it, he could take it up and maybe even go further with the ballet. And also, really, really nice touch, I think, because Diana loved the ballet. Who knows? Maybe George will also love ballet too. And actually, that's everything on my notes. So over to you guys. Dee says, Meghan is very wise. I would agree. Nobody should tolerate bullying. Not all relatives can be or should be considered family. Jamie says, did they not have bras when it was made, Christine? Bras? Have I missed something? I think I've missed something completely there. Darkstorm's Empire says, you are inspiring me not only for my page, but a group that may be coming up. Ooh, I like inspiring people. Thank you. Michael D. Oh, is that Michael D? Yes. Michael D. says, hello, Elliot. I will be heading to London in 2 weeks. Wanted your opinion on a good place to have a high tea experience. Well, there's the Ritz. The Ritz does good high tea. Oh, actually, Jamie might help you there because I think he's had high tea. I know the Ritz does good tea. I think that's probably a really good one. There's also, where was it called? Oh, where is it called? I forgot the name. Jamie, help me here for a moment. There's Claridge's. I think Claridge's does a good high tea. And the Ritz does a really good high tea. Jamie says, Elliot, I said, is the royal standard behind you X-rated? It is a bit like an X, isn't it? It's a Scottish saltire. Maya says, try looking under why Meghan Markle and Harry won't have legal custody of their children. Well, they won't do when Charles is king, but I've already spoken about the custody, so I'm not going to get into that. It's a minefield. I was right, Claridge's. Claridge's is the best. Yes, I would definitely recommend Claridge's. Madame Tussauds, I've been there once, and I don't know, I have a funny thing about waxworks. I kind of find them a little bit creepy. They kind of creep me out a little bit. They were really, really good. I admire the artistry behind them. Some of them do look really, really lifelike, but it's that kind of thing of they look lifelike, but then they're dead behind the eyes. I didn't really like it. They have a really good royal section though, and I have had my photograph taken with the royals, and the Diana waxwork is really good. And there's an amazing one of Queen Victoria. So I liked that section, but the rest, I wasn't too fussed on Madame Tussauds. Oh, Jamie's talking about the blue part of the royal standard. This part. Charlotte says, will Meghan and Harry's children be princes and princesses? Not whilst the Queen is living, unless she makes some sort of alteration. But once Charles becomes king, yes, they will be. Oh, Mrs. VSNC09 says, what's the story behind the two actors that walked around with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's Madame Tussauds faces? I saw the pictures, but I didn't look into it. But yes, there was people walking around with fake faces, and it caused quite a stir. But I will be looking at that a little bit later. And yes, I think there is a wax figure of Kim Kardashian. Ingrid says that's a lovely white shirt you have on. Thank you so much. You've got little black, lovely little black buttons, which I quite like. Helen says the Ritz was very touristy. Claridge's or Fortnum and Mason. I totally forgot about Fortnum and Mason. And the Langham Hotel is great too. Karen thinks wax figures are so creepy too. It's just that thing of they look lifelike and they're very good and they're very arty, but they are dead behind the eyes and it's quite creepy. Countess Bavaria thinks they're creepy too. Classy says we need a royal vault tour of the jewels. Maybe I shall reveal my jewels. And Ablaze says Australia doesn't have Zika. I thought so. That's why I asked. I said, does it have it? I know it's lots of South American countries and that way on. Does Africa have Zika? But I didn't think Australia did. So they're probably perfectly okay to go to Australia then if it doesn't have Zika. Oh, the Dorchester Hotel. Yes, they do really good. You know what? There's so many places that do really good teas. But I would probably agree with Jamie and go Claridge's. Claridge's is really. I have heard that Claridge's is really good too. And yes, I am wearing my play trousers. Look, they match. They're actually my lounge bottoms, but I thought they went well with the whole outfit, so I kept them on to be comfy. Mrs. BS79 says it was the creepiest thing to me. All those waxworks. Oh, Fortnum and Mason is great too. The old lifts are amazing, says Jamie. And Michael says, thank you for the suggestion. Well, you've got quite a lot to go on now, haven't you? Now I'm going to have a little bit more of my drink, I think, because I've not had much to drink tonight. And I think we've been on for nearly an hour and a half, haven't we? Just the right temperature to take a really big glug, I have to say. Oh, by the way, if you haven't already, I'm going to show my subscribe pillowcase, which I'm using as a banner to remind you that if you haven't already, please do subscribe. And also give me a really big thumbs up because it lets YouTube know that you're enjoying the videos and it pushes it out to more people if it thinks that you like it. And I did, someone said, why am I not posting out the link to the tiara? And I said I'd explain it. So I'll explain it now for those of you who don't know. I was watching a video on an expert of YouTube who knows everything about YouTube and he makes videos to put on YouTube about YouTube. And he was saying that YouTube it puts videos back to the back of the queue in terms of suggesting videos if it thinks that your video takes people away from the platform. So in other words, if you have a link in your description that takes people away from YouTube, it thinks that your video is not very good because people are leaving. So I didn't put the link in there because I didn't want people to all go and then my video literally get put down by YouTube. So that's why I haven't, because I think it's probably true. I think they probably do that. So I wanted people to see my video, so I haven't put the link in. But if you want to find that tiara, just type in Amazon, just type Meghan Markle tiara, and it will come up. Now, there's a choice of two. There's the really cheap one, and there's the more expensive one by the bridal place. So mine was the bridal one, and if you want exactly the same, get that one. Have I been to Scotland? No, I haven't, but there are so many places I would really love to see. Of course, the Palace of Holyrood House, Edinburgh Castle, and the Royal Yacht Britannia are the three main ones that I would definitely like to see on a visit. And in fact, I'm really toying with going because I really want to go. Oh, Sheila says Fiji has Zika. Candice is laughing. Reveal your jewels. I am not revealing those on channel. Jamie says, get a tea at the Palace Cafe in Buckingham Palace Confectionery. It's the same used in the state banquets and delicious. Oh, that sounds nice. Tea at the Buckingham Palace Gardens, the same one they have at state banquets. That sounds really nice. Dorothy Gibbs says, the wax figure around Town Story might be where the dog story came from because they posed with a dog. It could. It could be, couldn't it? Yes, it could. Well spotted. Jamie says Britannia would be amazing. It would indeed. And in fact, you can film on that completely. I mean, lots of these royal things, you can't actually film in them, I don't think. But Britannia, I've seen, you know, there are things where people are taking pictures and videos of everything. So Britannia, I think you can actually film on. So that would be a really, really good experience. But I did look at visiting Highgrove for a Sunday lunch, but you can't film anything at Highgrove. So it would literally be me arriving at Highgrove and then I'd have to turn the camera off and then come back. But in terms of an experience to tell everyone about, I could certainly do that too. Goodbye to Darkstorm's Empire, who is off. And I think I am going to end the chat here tonight because we've done lots of really, really good talking. I have had an amazing chat. So a yellow fan flap from me to everybody because we've had such an amazing chat. So obviously, you know, tune in the upcoming week. I'm going to plan on doing the Laird video and also the Victoria Sponge. So those are my two special videos which will be coming up. Also, I will let you know tomorrow who has been seen at church with the Queen. And of course, keep looking back for anything else that happens in the week. Any, you know, I may do some history videos. I don't know. Have to wait and see. But I will be back here, same place, same time, 10 o'clock on a Saturday, GMT time. Oh, by the way, also let me know in the comment section below. I'll probably won't have time to read them now. But let me know your thoughts on a Patreon only on Patreon live chat on a Friday. Would you be interested for Patreon members? Because I know these chats get very, very busy and quite clogged up with comments and things, which is really, really good. So I'll still carry on doing these free chats, but let me know what you think about a special Friday chat for a very select group of you, my patrons on Patreon. Let me know your thoughts as well. In fact, I may even make that particular live chat really, really, really cheap, maybe $1 or $3 or something like that. So if you're like a $3 member, then you will have access to every single Friday chat, that kind of thing. So let me know your thoughts on that. If you have enjoyed this video, then please give it a big old thumbs up. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And also the notification bell, turn it on. Turn that bell on so that you know whenever I pop up and do a live chat or whenever I post a new video. So from me in Shropshire, I have to lean forward to turn it off because I'm not right next to it. Goodbye.